How's it going, everybody? Thank you for joining me. Today, we're going to be talking about the new Apple TV Plus show, Constellation, starring Numi Rapace as Joe, who returns to Earth after a disaster in space and discovers that there are missing pieces in her life. So she sets out to expose the truth about the hidden secrets of space travel and recover what she has lost. Now, I went into this show really completely blind because this show really wasn't on my radar up until a couple of days ago, and I just absolutely got hooked into this show. This show grabs you by the balls and hooks you in. And I absolutely love it. When you have a premise like this, you really have to hook your audiences immediately because there is a sense of franticness going on here that we're not really exposed to yet. The show starts off with Joe in the future trying to figure out what's going on with her daughter. Her husband is missing. And then we go back to see what her life was up on the ISS, the International Space Station. Now, I really enjoyed it when we were on the ISS, when we get to see Numi Rapace just interacting with all her coworkers there, trying to see what's going on, and then them going back to Earth, leaving her behind to fix something on the ISS, and then her eventually returning home. Had I watched a trailer, I would have probably had high expectations for this show, and Apple TV Plus recently has been killing it with a lot of their shows. We just barely had Monarch, which I have not finished that show, but the first couple of episodes that I've seen were absolutely fantastic, and they absolutely nail it with this show because this show is absolutely trippy. If I were you and you take acid, this is probably one of those shows that you kind of don't want to drop acid while you watch it because there are a lot of freaky things going on. Now, we're going back in time, so we're going to the future and then we're going back to the past, seeing how everything started to unravel. And even before we get into the past, there are things in here that if you had to pick any director that would be attached to this project, you would think that this would be a Christopher Nolan time project because there are influences of Interstellar dropped in here, and I absolutely love that. The way that this show hooks you in just by the trippy visuals and you trying to figure out what's actually going on is something that really has me hooked from the beginning up until the ending of the third episode. They've only dropped the first three episodes, and this show just absolutely has me hooked from the beginning to the end of the third episode because when you are following this character, she's not really exposed to what's actually going on. Whatever this phenomenon is happening, it's not just happening to her, it's happening to her daughter, it's happening to Jonathan Banks' character, who is just a typical asshole in here, but he plays it so well that you just absolutely love it. And there are a lot of creepy things happening in here that gets you intrigued, that gets you concerned about what's actually going on, and you kind of just want to unravel the mystery because you actually don't even know what is going on by the end of the third episode, and it just kept you intrigued. It kept you fascinated by what's actually going on, and it just gets you immediately hooked with just the creepy visuals and with just the trippy visuals and just the whole thing unraveling. You want to see what this mystery is all about and how it's actually going to be resolving. So on those aspects, that is what I absolutely like about the show. However, on some aspects, it is a bit of a slow burn once we get into the first three episodes. There are a lot of moments in here where the time is just winding down, and I really enjoyed most of that, but it's not going to work for a lot of people. So if you want something that is fast moving and trippy all at once, this probably will modestly be for you. Just know going in that it's a little bit slow paced. It does take its time with the mystery and what's actually going on around it. But once you get into these characters, once you see what Joe is like, and she is trying to put the pieces together because she's not remembering anything the way it was before she went on to her space adventures. In here, there are elements in here that get you hooked. And that is what I absolutely loved about the show. However, it is a little bit more slow moving. There are some moments here and there that really took its time, and I was just not as invested as I should have been. But once we get into the latter half of the third episodes and you see things happening not just only to Joe, but to Joe's daughter and Jonathan Banks' character, there are weird things going on in here. And I just absolutely loved it. There are creepy visuals. It has a really nice mystery going around here that you just really want to unravel. It's like a Christmas present. You don't know what's going to be inside the box until you unwrap it. And I think that is what Constellation is to me. It is a trippy, mind bending Christmas present that you just want to unwrap immediately. And I am probably going to be watching this show week to week just to see what we're going to be leading up to. But so far, as far as these first three episodes, color me intrigued. I really enjoyed the trippy visuals, the mystery that is surrounding these characters, and I just can't wait to see what's going to be at the end of the rainbow. But those are my thoughts on Constellation. Have you guys checked it out, or are you planning on checking it out? Go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.